What's going on? This is going to be Shiv from Shadow Warriors, sort of like coming back at you guys today in another video in Clash of Clans. And this is the how to use QuattroLavaLoonion Town Online. So it's going to be an attack strategy guide for you guys, and I know how much you guys love watching attack strategy guides from me. So let us get straight into the video, guys. Now the kind of bases that you're looking for is, if you can imagine a rectangle sort of like connecting all four of those A defenses, well, those are going to be the ideal locations of the A defenses, and the main concept of the lava hound is just going to be the location of your A defenses and the coverage. We'll come to the coverage point in just a moment. What coverage basically means is that you want the defenses. I'm talking about wizard towers, archer towers, Teslas. I'm talking about defenses that matter to your balloons, not the cannons and the mortars. You want all of those to be in groups around the A defenses, so that when you drop a lava hound, and when the lava hound is standing here, you can see that all the surrounding defenses, be it the archer tower at 9, the wizard tower, the second archer tower, all of that is in the range of the lava hound. So they are going to be targeting the lava hound. Now what that means to you is that every balloon that you send from here to here and from anywhere like here is going to be completely protected. Now when you send those lava hounds, all of the defenses, since they are targeting the hounds, they are completely your balloons, they are safe to roam free, and that is the type of base you want, guys. Now you also want to take care that you want to be spreading the deployment of your lava hounds. So you want them to be going at the A defense, but you want those to be spread at different angles, and the reason is you just want to soak as many A traps as possible. Now just think about it this way: as the front side A defenses collapse, the lava hounds, they are going to move straight ahead. Now the great thing is that look at the bases still. Okay, now you just kill this area within the black polygon region, but all of the backside defenses, be it the two wizard towers, the archer tower at 12, and even the archer tower at 3, all of that is in the coverage area and is going to target the hounds. Now is the time when you can use the 5 to 6 balloons that you save from behind these defenses. Just sneak in, just look for possibilities like that. The attacker in this particular attack does not do that, but look for bases where when your hound is at the A defenses, all surrounding defenses target the hound, so that your balloons, they are completely safe. So let's get into the attack. Uses a hog rider to lure the CC. A very foolish play that. I mean, just use a balloon to lure the CC, guys. You don't want to pull out the CC loons because they cannot target your air troops anyway. So why are you going to deal with them? Has a poison spell and an arc of archers, and that's just a waste of troop space, as you will see in the subsequent attacks. But this was a really good example, so I had to show this to you guys. A really good example of a base setup. Just goes in, and pretty much that's a spammy deployment of your hound and your balloons. But look at the power of this attack strategy. Yes, you can call it spam, but it is still very technical. I mean, you gotta think which side of the base you are gonna approach from. Does not do anything about the enemy queen. In the next attacks, you would see that you would be bringing skeleton spells, that is some high level technique for the enemy queen, while she is distracted on everything else. Just shoot the skeleton spells on the enemy queen and she is going to go down really fast. Just look at this attack, guys. It happened so quickly. That is the power of a laloon. When you fail it, it fails very quickly, and when you succeed, it succeeds very quickly. I mean, it just is not like an attack that sort of like progresses up to the next phase or something. No, it does not work like that. I mean, you can, as the attacker, tell whether it's going in the right direction or not. As Fahad the Great finally cleaning up Doraemon's base, this is not going to be a 98% 1-star. He's actually going to get the 3-star here. One lava hound does not even pop. So that is the power of, you know, LavaLoonion. Just does a really good job at keeping those balloons in race, sort of like from the start to the bottom. Let us look at the next base. Is going to be the second base in question for today's video. Let's get this out of the way and get the second base. So here we go. Once again, you look at the location of air defenses. You do not see a rectangular shape this time. So the bases, guys, they are kind of like going to change. We are going to show you a variety of bases, if that kind of makes sense. But the concept is the same. The coverage thing is still works on this particular base design. When the lava hound standing on that A defense, the wizard tower and the archer tower is what is going to be hitting the hounds, not going to be hitting your balloons that are going to be deployed from behind your hounds. Now, same story on the other side when the Lava Hound standing on the A defense. Once again, both of those defenses are going to be targeting the Hound, and even if there is a Tesla in that particular location, it's going to be targeting your Hound, not going to be hitting your balloons. So if we can talk about like that, we can even say that the expos, guys, the expos are in range of your Hounds. So that is a different story, and the Archer Queen in the core with base, she's going to step up and eventually going to be targeting your Hound. So every single defense that really is of importance to your balloons, can actually damage your balloons, is going to be targeting your Hound. So just look at the portion of the base that you can just freely deploy your balloons on, and you're just completely safe. None of your balloons is going to be taking any damage. So just freely deploy your balloons along all of this area. And once the front side A defenses collapse, guys, the Lava Hounds, they are eventually going to step up. They are going to move towards the central A defense, and finally going to move towards that back end A defense. Same story on the bottom, guys. Pretty much that Wizard Tower and the Archer Tower and the other group as well is going to be tanked for, is going to be in the range of your Lava Hound. So you can just now use the 5 to 6 balloons, whatever you save, and just freely sneak in from behind those Archer Towers, since nothing is going to be hurting them, nothing is going to be hitting on them. And that is the concept of a Lava Loon attack. You're looking for bases like this where you can exploit the fact that the defenses that actually matter to your balloons are around your A defenses. So one thing what I want to mention here is the Archer Tower at 9 and the Archer Tower at 3 are going to be some exceptions here, but only 2 defenses that are not in the coverage range, and the Archer Tower at 3 can be directly targeted with your balloon. So just 2 defenses that violate this fact, but the rest of the base is pretty much going to be taken care of. Let us move on to this attack. Now this was actually a pretty high level attack, much better than the last one, so you are going to learn some really interesting key points here. So start noting the points. Number 1, using balloons instead of using Hog Riders to load the CC, and how that actually makes sense is, look at that, 3 wizards and 1 baby dragon come out of the CC. That makes only 22 spaces, so the rest 8 spaces might have something like a Valkyrie in it. But why would we actually bother about lowering the Valkyrie, right? I mean, why would we actually deal with the Valkyrie? Why would we invest more troops in dealing with it, since we just need to deal with the troops that can shoot in? Now the CC is going to be taken care of. Also, just notice the fact that the initial balloons also take out an Archer Tower, which is going to be a bonus here as the raid eventually moves on. Great angles on the Lava Hounds. Uses a level 3 Hound in the CC, use a level 4 if that is available, and you are going to use the maxed Hound towards the Queen side of things, towards whichever side the Queen is going to step eventually on beautiful skeleton spells. And the reason is because the Hounds on the Queen side are going to be taken down much faster. Also rages the balloons through the core, the expos at town, guys. So the Hounds eventually move towards the backside A defense. Now the back end loons were kind of like a bit early on this one, but still something that works, something that is viable. Rudrakshi getting it done against them, and these attacks, guys, happen so fast. Like the timer is literally 1 minute to 20 seconds for my audio recording, and that is how fast it happens. It just have to be like, just do it quickly or just get done quickly. That is what the fundamentals are. Laloon, but the main concept once again, guys, coverage. If your Hounds can tank for all surrounding defenses, that is the base that you are looking for. Laloon. Let us look at one more base we have in question for today's video. Is going to be much of a high level base design. It's going to be an anti 3-star base layout from Sahil from Chatty Buddies. We are looking at the same thing, guys, the A defense and other defenses in groups around the A defense. So that is what you are looking at for your Laloon attacks. Now what Rudrakshi does right here is a really interesting concept here of a mini dead zone compartment. That clan gasson compartment is sort of like a dead zone. What do I mean by a dead zone is that it is a dead space where you have no defenses. So if you talk about it loon wise, your balloons, for them, the base is now separated into 2 parts by that compartment. So the top right and the top left, it is sort of like dividing both of these portions of the base, because your balloons, they are not going to be targeting the clan castle, guys. They're going to be targeting defenses, and since there are no defense in that compartment, so that acts like a separator or a barrier between both of your portions. And now how Rudrakshi exploits this fact is she is going to make a counterclockwise motion across this base in that particular fashion, which you are going to see in just a moment. So what she actually does is goes in with one hound on the first tier defense, another hound on the first tier defense. So you are going to start with 2 lava hounds on the first tier defense, and you have a balloon group sort of like coming in heavy with like 5 or 6, I believe is what the exact number was, and has a haste spell. Those balloons under a haste, they are going to go and straight up target an expo. Once that expo goes down, they're not going to move to that air sweeper, guys. Because of the presence of the dead space, what they are actually going to do is they are eventually going to meet up with your second group of balloons down at the bottom along that bomb tower, if that is the kind of line you can imagine. Now the second group of balloons does get this mortar taken care of while she's going to anchor pull the CC, so she can now directly target the archer tower and the wizard tower with her loons. So that is going to be backing her first hound up. Has a rage spell for everything that sort of like meets up at the bomb tower and that air defense area, the second air defense. Now for the second air defense, once you are moving towards the second air defense, now is the time that you gotta deploy your third lava hound and just use some more balloons to back that hound up. Now this also gets a sort of like a funnel created. Just think about it this way, guys. Now once this wizard tower goes down, all of your loons that are kind of like moving in this particular area, they do not need to go out to take this wizard tower. They can just take a turn and move towards this expo. So this is what the plan is, what the basic is. So if you get this layer, the archer tower, the cannon, the wizard tower taken out with your like third group of loons, your main group, the first and the second combined, is going to just straight up move towards the expo. Reduces the loon travel time, and if you watch my how to use balloons video, you know what I'm talking about. If you just want to go in detail, the link of the video would be in the description below. Just go ahead and check that out for more details if you require that. Now has a haste spell for this group, and that is all fine. Now when the balloons eventually step up to that expo, that is the time for her to deploy her fourth lava hound on the third air defense, goes in with some more balloons, sort of like back it up, and a rage spell. Now the point here is, guys, you need a rage spell at whichever location of the base you are going to be engaging the enemy queen. I mean, no matter, you can engage the enemy queen at the entry, you can engage her at the exit, you can engage her mid-raid, anywhere, but you need a rage spell wherever you do so, because the skeletons that you are going to place on the enemy queen, the skeleton spells, under rage, they are really powerful and can take the queen really efficiently, while no rage or just naked skeleton spell might fail sometimes. Now also there is some interesting pathing by the queen, some interesting AI issues there. We will talk about that in the raid. Let us just go to the live attack. So we are into the attack here, guys. Rudrakshi going on Sahil and gonna be starting with the balloon group to lure the CC out. So the mortar goes down, and now what it does is now she can directly target all of the defenses in this particular layer. So nasty CC comes out, 3 baby dragons. Gonna take her a while to deal with those 3 baby dragons, as has an archer to sort of like pull the CC. The king goes ahead tanking for those 3, and just a level 11 queen is what we have got shooting at those baby dragons. So it's gonna take a while for her, but the great thing is that those baby dragons do not do a lot of damage, especially since they are not enraged. And the final baby dragon, when it gets enraged, goes ahead, steps on that archer queen. That is the time when you gotta pop that ability, save your queen and save the day for your raid. Comes in with 2 lava hounds at different angles, sort of like absorbing all kinds of air traps possible on the base. That first hasted group of balloons gonna step up, take that expo. We also have the third lava hound deployed on this particular base, and look at that, how many air traps it absorbs as well. Now the third group of balloons, the one at the bottom I'm talking about, look at the funnel, guys. Look at the funnel at this particular point. Those balloons, the main group is going to just straight up turn to that expo, and this is what we were talking about. And the fourth lava hound comes in, we have 2 more balloons in that cannon. The reason is that we want the main groups sort of like to stay inside the base. Now look at that misplaced skeleton spell, sort of like in a landlocked compartment. The opponent queen did some mischievous stuff there with the AI. I mean, kind of like jumped from compartment to compartment. That was what fooled the attacker actually. Final heal spell goes down for the final A defense, but does not even need it at that point. The queen is still up. We have got a lot of lava buffs, we have got a lot of balloons. tons of cleanup at this point. This was a marvelous good game by Rudrakshi there. Let us look at one more base design and then we are going to wrap this video up. Now this is going to be the fourth base, and you notice no dead zones on this particular base, but Rudrakshi, what she wants to do is she again wants that counterclockwise cyclic motion. So everything that we have discussed in the video so far, we are going to apply all of that. Now now first of all guys, you know the power. I mean, if you have watched all of the attacks, the third attack was the one that was the most majestic, the one that was most fantabulous. And when you kind of like develop those loon or those hawk cycles in that counterclockwise or those clockwise motions, it just works the way it is. It's just so fantastic to watch, and it just works so efficiently. So that is the reason why Rudrakshi is going to create her own dead zone. So this base does not have a dead zone, but she is going to create one of her own so that the pathing works out. Now what she actually does for this is goes in with a lava hound on the first A defense, uses a balloon group, not going really heavy on those balloons, just 4 to 5 I believe, with a haste spell. What this is actually going to do is, with this investment, she is going to get this whole section of the base at least taken care of. So that is like 4 to 5 defenses in that particular area. If a Tesla eventually pops up, even that is going to go down. So this is going to create a dead zone for her, and now what she's actually going to do is she's going to deploy her remaining hound and loon groups in this particular fashion. If you can sort of like imagine another counterclockwise motional cycle across this base. So the third lava hound is what is actually going to go down the second air defense, uses 2 hounds in the first air defense, did not make the second arrow there, so really apologies for that. Has some more balloons on those archer tower groups. We are not going to talk much about the balloon deployment guys, this has been a long video already. And the fourth lava hound going on the third air defense. So you just observe the pattern. You have 2 lava hounds in the first air defense, you have the third lava hound on the second air defense, and then you have the fourth lava hound on the third air defense. You have balloon groups sort of like backing all of your hounds up, and then what you are actually going to do is you are going to use a heal spell for the final air defense. So on the fourth air defense, you are not going to deploy any more extra hounds, you're just going to use a heal spell. For the queen area, pretty much you are going to have a rage spell wherever you're going to get the queen, and then you're going to use 1 or 2 skeletons. Dual skeletons is what I prefer. Just get that queen taken out, because if the queen does not die, the raid is over guys. The raid is over, all planning is over. It's just better to go with 2 skeleton spells than just 1. But if you're taking only 1, just take a level 4 skeleton spell in your CC. That does work fine. Use the haste spells wherever you think they are required, and that is going to be pretty much it. Let's watch this attack, and then finally we shall wrap this video up. By the way, we should actually just kind of like recap this base. So what I actually talked about is Rudrakshi, she comes in with 2 hounds and a balloon group on this, the first A defense, gets this all taken down and gets a dead zone created for herself. Now what this is actually going to do is, this is going to give her an L-shaped path, if you can imagine that, on the base like this. Not gonna draw much, but if you just can imagine an L-shaped runaway for her remaining balloons, and that is going to be pretty much that. Now this balloon group sort of like is just going to die out guys with that wizard tower that's the 4th aid defense firing, and then this balloon group is not going to do much. So that is the reason why she does not go in heavy. The second balloon group is what is actually going to be your primary group, with this hound tank and with all these hounds kind of like moving towards this air defense. This balloon group is going to take all of this down and then eventually going to step up, and since these balloons, they have already taken the cannon, all of these balloons in this particular area are going to move straight to this wizard tower. And since this balloon group takes this archer tower down and then this wizard tower down, you know, all these balloons, they're just going to stay in the secondary layer of defenses, finally with a heal spell and just getting all of this taken down. So that is the plan against God Hand from Alali of Clans. Rudrakshi, the MVP, the most valuable player of Shadow Warriors, getting it done. Let's give a shout out to her, as we are finally going to wrap up this video after watching this attack. So we are into the final attack of this particular video. Rudrakshi going against God Hand, starts in with just 2 balloons on the mortar. That mortar is gonna go down, and those balloons are going to step up, get in the CC range. The CC is low out, only has a dragon in the CC, so maybe the rest 10 spaces would have been 2 balloons, if that makes sense. Does not load those 2 balloons. Why would you do that in the whole world, for God's sake? So this dragon is gonna go down. Just it starts with the deployment of that one hound, those 4 hasted balloons, just 4 balloons, guys, not many. So you see the value and the investment. Now that dead space has been created had those Teslas not popped up. So those Teslas popping up just wrecks this thing entirely, as we are going to use the rage spell with the skeleton spells on the queen. So the queen is going to die, but those Teslas are going to mess up the pathing here, as the plan was all good. So now what happens is the one group of balloons sort of like goes straight to that 4th air defense. So an interesting adjustment on the fly here is uses a rage spell and a heal spell on that particular group, and now that is going to be pretty much came. The space has been taken care of by Rudrakshi. 2 lava hounds is still remaining unpopped. So out of the 4 hounds that she brought to this particular base, 2 lava hounds are still just at not at full health, but still at half health, I believe, and they do not get popped. So you don't have a lot of lava pups cleaning this base, but still a majestic attack and just absolutely marvelous. So don't think you are going to become an overnight 3-star champion with this particular attack. Yes, this is a really powerful attack, guys. I doubt it not. You have seen the success of this particular attack, just taking down maxed out bases, maxed out town online with those baby level of heroes. So you guys were asking me for a town online attack strategy that works with early to mid-level heroes, that works with heroes upgrading. This is where you have at least have a chance at a very decent, well layout base, but the main concept is going to be the same, guys. You want the AA defenses to be in strategic locations, in those locations where your hounds could tank for all other defenses. So this is going to be a not host, actually my sister just said, what do you mean by host? So okay, Shiv from the Shadow Warriors. Until next time, taking your leave, guys. Bye bye for now. Hope you learned a tip or two from this particular video. Thanks for spending some time of your day with me. I really appreciate it, guys, and as always, take care.